British food is not that bad.
Really? Are you sure? I disagree with that.
Do you guys have any culture shocks when you came here?
A lot. About the food, about the weather. During my first week in the UK, I feel like I was pretty rude.
This is Manchester Voices, a podcast run by students at the University of Manchester.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Manchester Voices. I'm Dorsa. I'm a third-year biotech student, and today I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Aurora, currently doing a master in intercultural communication. I am originally from China. The fun fact I'm gonna say is quite astonishing. There are more than 200 languages spoken in Manchester.
Ooh.
Wow, I only contribute to...
Me too. I contribute to that too.
What about you?
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Natasha. I'm an international student currently studying in MSc Marketing. I'm from Indonesia. From me is, do you know for a fact that the University of Manchester has the second largest international students number in the UK?
Oh, I didn't know that.
We can get to first. I believe in us.
Next year.
Next year. My fun fact is that this year, the university is turning 200 years old. We actually have more information on that at the end, so stay tuned, anyone who's listening.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Manchester.
So, why did you guys come to Manchester, or more so in general, why did you come to the UK?
In my case, that's a long story to tell.
Tell us.
About 10 years ago. Well,
Wow, that's
I didn't expect that long.
I will try my best to cut the long story short. When I was in junior high school, I participated in a summer camp to come to the UK. So we traveled from London all the way north to Scotland. Definitely have passed Manchester. And that was my first visit. It was like a brand new world to me. I fell deeply in love with the cultural sceneries, the friendly people, and the natural settings. So, with a passion for the UK in my mind, I was really motivated to learn English and improve my academic performance. And I finally got the chance to come to my dreamland again.
Aww.
Hooray!
Woo! What about you?
A little backstory. I
10
did-
years worth?
No, that's not 10 years worth. But I did my undergrad back in South Korea, so
Okay.
I have an experience of being an international student,
Mm-hmm.
and I have always known that I want to pursue a master's degree, but since I have an experience in studying as an international student in Asia, I was looking towards somewhere beyond Asia, and since I learned Korean already. I'm pretty hesitating to learn another language. So
No, fair enough.
I was looking for somewhere who is a English-speaking country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think UK is one of the home of
Yeah.
the best universities in the world. So that's probably one of the reasons that I came to the UK. And yeah, here I am in Manchester.
I had never been to the UK. Had you been to the UK before coming?
No, my first time.
Yeah, me
I did.
neither. And why Manchester, of all cities?
I would say Manchester is quite a great city to live and study because like London is the center of everything. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming for me, at least. Like everyone's so busy, they're always in a hurry, and London is so big that even if I'm in London, I need to take 1 hour, 2 hours to get from one side to another. So Manchester is like, it's also a great city, but it's not that big, not that overwhelming, it's not that intimidating. So for me, it's really a good choice, and also it's very diverse,
Yeah, it's true.
and I can meet many like-minded people.
But you said you were from China, right?
Yeah.
I would expect that China's also really busy and big and
Yeah.
overwhelming, like London. Is it
That's
not?
why I left.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, similarly, yeah, same. I kind of like left like the big, overwhelming city life.
Oh, it's also depend on the cities. If you live in a rural places, it's not like that.
Okay. Were you used to like the big, overwhelming city life, or?
Well, actually, the reason is more academical. Why I chose Manchester is because I knew that I want to take marketing, and I searched for the top university with marketing programs in the UK. And Manchester at that time came up like the third best in the UK.
Go off, Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester's another plus point is it's purple. I like purple.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah,
Purple's our color.
I really
Yeah.
love purple. And as a city, I find that Manchester is very nice. Like, it's still a city, but not as bustling as London.
Yeah. I really like how like it's got the perfect balance. It's got like the city life, but it's also got like the small like town life. It's got a good balance.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the traffic is so convenient. Like it has the one of the biggest airports in UK, and also the train is so convenient. Like 1 hour's train, I can go to many nearby cities, Liverpool.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bus transport system in Manchester is amazing. We have no public transport back home, so when I came here, I was like, I'm so free to go everywhere I want. Thank you to the bus. What about? Did you guys come for the multicultural aspect of Manchester? Because I was really surprised how multicultural and diverse it is. I did not expect that. I thought, okay, I'm gonna go, like, you know, enjoy my time with some, you know, British chaps and whatever they call them. But no, I really liked how like every single culture is represented really nicely in Manchester.
Yeah, I was also surprised by that. Like on my way from my accommodation to the campus, it's like just 10 minutes walk, but I can go past a Korean supermarket, a Turkish restaurant, a French brunch, something, and
Yeah.
loads of Chinese restaurants and supermarkets.
I really like that because I'm used to that back home as well, and I was afraid I'd have to like stick to fish and chips. Not excited for that.
You know, I'm really surprised that when I came here, I expect that everything will be so British. Like,
Yeah.
like I even expect to pick up some British accent. But, you know, in my major at least, I can count on like with my fingers how much British are there in my program.
Wow.
So it's very, very diverse.
It's nice to have like a lot of different people from your background.
Yeah.
Like there's a large Iranian base in Manchester, which never really makes me miss home that much. Like it makes me feel like, you know, I'm not that far away. I'm halfway across the world. But I'm not that far away. What about you guys? Do you guys miss anything from home?
For me, actually, it's fine because many people say about the food. Many people
important.
complain about the food in the UK, but for me, it's fine because I really enjoy cooking by myself. So I can just buy ingredients and cook. Sometimes with my Chinese friends, so we will even have a community sense. So it should be fine. And British food is not that bad. Sometimes it's okay.
Really? Are you sure? I disagree with that.
I've not gone towards British food. Like I've not tasted one single fish and chip since I got here.
Really?
I've not even gone for it. There's just so much like there's a plethora of international restaurants on the road I live on. There's no
Yeah.
reason for me to go towards like fish and chips.
You need to try that in Whitby. It is said to be the best fish and chips in the UK.
Okay. Where is this? Whitby.
Whitby in northeast England is a
Okay.
like nearby
Oh.
beach, just northeast coast.
Okay. I've not gone traveling that much, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, to be honest, at first I was a bit homesick
Yeah.
because it's a bit weird that my parents can't join me when I found something strange or interesting that I want to share with them. And due to the time zone difference, which is 8 hours in summer and 7 hours during winter time. So usually when I send them a message, they can't just see this and reply to me
That's so
immediately.
sad.
And it's even tricky to arrange video calls.
Yeah. 7 hours or
Yeah.
8 hours is a lot. Is it the
Yeah.
same
I
for
can
you?
relate to you because it's
It is the same.
now wait. This time is GMT plus 0 right now, right?
Yeah.
So Indonesia, Jakarta is GMT plus 7, so it's 7 hours
Oh,
apart.
7 hours.
So when during the summer it's 6 hours apart.
Oh.
I thought I had a bout with like in the summer it's 3, right now it's 4. That's nothing compared to that. Do you guys have any culture shocks when you came here?
A lot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would say a lot.
Tell me about them.
Yeah. about the food, about the weather, about the politeness and directness. Something like people's behavior, because in a Chinese context, maybe in your school, Natasha, we don't say sorry and thank you that much.
Yeah.
Even if we feel sorry, we won't say it out, especially for some strangers on the street that we don't really know. We just say like nothing. So during my first week in the UK, I feel like I was pretty rude. Like everyone's so polite.
Yeah, everyone's like so nice and warm.
Yeah.
I remember once I was in a supermarket. I was crouching down to see an item, check an item, the price, and I just stood up and I just directly faced an elderly gentleman, and I didn't say anything because I don't think both of us has done something wrong. But he said in a really British way, "Sorry, my darling."
I can't imagine that.
I can imagine that.
And I was there just shocked. Like, oh, what did you say? Should I say something back? Should I also say sorry? Or
There's a lot of things that they say that I'm like, do I reply to that? Like, I also made like a culture shock video a few years ago. It became a bit infamous, my tragic dark past. But one thing that I mentioned is when I first came here, everyone was always like, "You're right," and I'm like, "I'm great, thank you. How are you?" But you're not supposed to reply. You're just supposed to be like,
like a greeting.
yeah, it's just like a hi. And
Yeah.
I just thought like, do I look okay? Like, do I look sad?
Not okay.
I'm okay, guys. I'm all right. But that was one of my biggest culture shocks. Like things that they say that
Yeah.
like are a bit like rhetorical. You're not supposed to reply to them, but they just say it.
Another thing is when I first arrived, me with my friends were carrying like 3 suitcases each.
Yeah.
And I was like, how to push this up? And suddenly there was a middle-aged man like, come towards us, and he was like, "Do you need some help? Like, do you want me to help you?" And I was like, having been living in South Korea for 5 years, we are taught to be like apathetic and be wary of strangers who offers you help.
Yeah.
Someone who you don't know offering you help is such a red flag in South Korea. It may be cold, it might be scam. So I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
no, thank you. No, thank you. But my friends was like, oh, yeah, please, thank you. So the man ended up helping us with our suitcases.
Relatively, Manchester's a pretty safe city.
Yeah, I agree with you because they are in where I live. It's just nearby the city center and the campus, and there are many universities, which means there are many students.
Yeah.
So I feel like we are all students. We are just in the same community, and it should be safe.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, 50,000 students here. Like,
Yeah.
there's a big population of students. I think it's like 10% of the Manchester population is students. So it feels pretty safe to me. Like, we're good.
And also, I think the university also provides some support about the safety.
They have a safe zone app.
Yeah.
Have you guys used that before?
Not
I
really.
downloaded it in the freshers fair, but I haven't used that. I hope I don't need to.
I've used it. It's actually really helpful.
Really?
I got lost. It was like my first time outside of my like accommodation in Manchester. I went for like a nice little shawarma on the Curry Mile. I lost my way back. I didn't know where to go. My phone was dying. I had no internet. I just opened up the Safe Zone app. I called the security. I'm like, "I'm lost. Can you help me get back home?" And they stayed on the phone with me for like 25 minutes, like telling me, "Go right, go left." Like they could see my location, I think. And it was really helpful. I got home in one piece and it was raining. It was horrible. I was not used to it. They really helped. I was very grateful to the Safe Zone app in that moment. But
Talking about the
recommend people
rain,
download it. Yeah.
the weather is also another culture shock.
Yeah,
for me.
right.
Yeah.
I thought I experienced all 4 seasons already in South Korea, so I thought that moving to Manchester, it will be not a much shock, especially about the weather, but I was wrong.
Still.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I
gonna be
was
a
really
breeze.
wrong. Like,
It's going to be a tornado.
I used to live in Busan, and it's like a seaside city, so the wind is pretty strong right there, but here it's another level. Like,
Yeah.
woo.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow.
You guys weren't here for Storm Eunice a few years ago. I was coming back from like Lidl doing my grocery shop, and I was being flown away. It was so bad. I was like, what's going on?
Seriously? Flown away?
Yeah, like my groceries were literally flying away, and I was going with them. It was so scary, but you're right. It's such a difference here in the weather. Like, I had not experienced all 4 seasons. I came from like a desert country. We have 2 seasons. We have summer, 3 seasons of the year, and then we have spring, which is winter. And that's it. I did not experience winter. I had not experienced like autumn, and it was a shock coming into that. I was not ready for it.
Oh, I had another one
Go on.
regarding the bus.
The bus.
Like,
Yeah, it's the
you
same.
know,
Same for me.
I think in Indonesia, I don't really ride public transportation that much back in Indonesia, but during my stay in South Korea, I use public transportation every time, like the bus, the subways, the undergrounds. But in South Korea, at least the bus stops at every stops where they see like there is people standing there, so you don't have to like reach out your hand to stop the bus. So I didn't know that at first, and I was like catching up a bus. I was running, like I was that's in front, and I was like running, and I arrived like in front of the bus door, and they just drove past me, and I
It's
was like,
always so mean. Like,
"What?
hello, I'm right here.
I'm right here. Why can't you just open the door for me?"
Yeah, it's always so mean, but
In China, it's also like in Indonesia, we don't really use our hand to stop the
Yeah.
bus, and
Yeah.
the bus will just stop. And another culture shock during the process we get on the bus is people really like to queue here in the UK, because in China when we get on the bus, we will just go one by one. We will still stand there waiting, but we won't really stand in a straight queue like people do here.
yeah.
So the first time I took the bus in the UK, I was like, I was also shocked. Like, I stand there, I didn't move, and some people stand in front of me, some people stand behind me, and it's just directly like a queue.
Yeah, they're really good with their cues here. Like back home, and they know exactly how much personal space to give. Back
Yeah.
home, we have no concept of personal space
No.
in lines. Like, everyone's like right up in your business, and you're like, oh, okay, this is very polite. This is very disciplined and nice. Okay, good on you guys.
And I love how everyone is so patient,
Yeah.
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
In
So
China,
patient.
if maybe because China has a really large population, we can't just wait for everyone to ask the driver like, oh, is this stop on this bus? Is this route? Like, everyone just behind him will say, hurry up, come on, what
I
are you
can relate
asking?
to that. I
Yeah.
can relate to that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where did you guys apply from? Did you apply from South Korea to come to Manchester, or did you apply from?
From Indonesia.
Okay, and
I'm
you
definitely from China.
Okay. I applied from the UAE. What advice would you have for like applicants coming from your countries or like other countries in general?
For me, I would say just stay open, just be respectful of all the cultural differences, because it sounds very boring, but it's really hard when you really want to achieve that. Because when you say it, yeah, I'm open-minded, I'm open to any kind of culture, but when you really meet those people from different cultures, you will say, oh, these behaviors are a bit weird to me. Especially for you, like flatmates, that you need to live together. But for me, I would say the university is quite a good platform for us to meet people from different backgrounds, holding different beliefs, and it's a rather safe place to meet different people. And what you need to do is just participate, and maybe you can observe people from different backgrounds, and you can see what's their world like. And it's quite interesting thing to see some really like completely different point of view from yours.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about you?
From a lifestyle point of view, do not feel like you know everything already. Even though you have experience before, just please be prepared for everything.
Yeah.
If you're from a countries like me, Indonesia, where spices are everything, please don't forget to bring your spices.
Oh,
so that you
definitely.
do not misharm that
Yeah.
much. And academically speaking, for your application, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah,
express
be
yourself
honest.
well.
I also, with the application, I didn't expect it to be so focused on your grades because we grew up with a lot of like American media, like
Yeah.
they're doing all these like MUNs and like basketballs and
Mhm, mhm.
violins to like get into like Harvard and Stanford. And then when it came to applying to the UK, they just cared about your grades. Like obviously they care about like a holistic, like
Mhm.
who are you as a person? What are your passions, you know? But they don't really care that you did like flute for 3 weeks in like 10th grade, you know? It doesn't really go on your record. Like they don't consider that. It is a lot on your grades and there's a lot to like research. I didn't do much research when I was like applying. I kind of just applied to like whatever sounds cool or like whatever is like highly ranked, but obviously I ended up in a great place. I'm very happy with my decisions, but I probably should have done a lot more research. Things work it out though, but research is
Yeah.
important.
And I would definitely say when you are in the UK, in this place, just participate in anything you are interested, because otherwise you won't have the chance anymore. Just cherish the time you are in the UK.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
That's
Yeah.
right. And also another point is, if you're going to Manchester, I think do not expect to pick up any British accent.
You'll be so
Sorely let down.
Yeah.
Okay, is that all your advice?
And prepare the language more.
Mhm.
Back to the English language, because before I came to the UK, actually I also needed to pass the IELTS test, which is like the English test for international students. But I don't really speak English because I don't have the person to communicate with. I don't have the environment, so I was only focused on the writing, the reading, something like that. But after coming to the UK, I feel like my English has been reconstructed again.
Yeah.
Not only the language itself, but also the cultural stuff in it. So I think I learned a lot more about that. But the first few weeks are so overwhelming.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to like grasp that you've come to a new place,
Yeah.
especially if you've never been
right.
here before. I know you've been here 10 years ago in your
10
backstory.
years ago.
But like if you've never been somewhere and it's just like, am I really here? Like it's
Sense
really
of
weird.
belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a while to feel like you belong, but as they said in their LED light,
Mhm.
if you haven't seen that,
I'm meant to be here.
I'm meant to be here. Yeah. We're meant to be
Yeah.
here. Thank you guys for listening to Manchester Voices. But before we go, I have a little bit of a story about what we're doing to celebrate our 200 years at Manchester. So, the University of Manchester has announced that it will be hosting Universally Manchester, a celebratory 4-day festival to mark its 200th year, welcoming up to 60,000 people to its Oxford Road campus from Thursday 6th of June to Sunday 9th of June. Festival goers will be able to curate their own varied program from behind-the-scenes tours to music, theaters, comedy, art, poetry, well-being, and more, with something on offer for all ages and interests.
Ooh.
That's
Hooray.
exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
If you've got a topic you want us to discuss, drop us a message on Instagram at officialuom and mention Manchester Voices. Our jingle was created by student Maisie Illul.